Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. I got a good one for you today. You're watching iAllegedly. I am in Iowa, so welcome to Iowa. What are you doing in Iowa? That across the river is Nebraska, Omaha, in fact. And I am here for the Warren Buffett Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting that I'm going to cover for you guys. But I have a great story to tell you in regards to how two states, California and Utah, are going to crack down on shenanigans when it comes to rich people ripping people off. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it. Living in Southern California, I see a lot of expensive cars. And one thing that has happened lately is that people have advertised this. And in fact, you can go on the internet and you can be told how to evade your vehicle registration fee by registering your vehicle in Montana. In fact, I've seen YouTubers brag about this to me, about how they buy things like Corvettes and Porsches. I'm not paying registration, I'm not doing this, I'm gonna register it in Montana. Now, here's the problem with that. There is no sales tax when you buy a vehicle in Montana. Okay, well that's huge. And I'll give you guys an idea how huge that is. So they do that, and then they have an extended registration fee that is incredibly inexpensive, that is cheaper than any other state, and people go out and register their cars. In fact, I just had a house I looked at. All the houses were from Montana, and the people were moving to a different state. And I was like, wow. So I started asking questions about this, and what people do is they register their vehicles in Montana to save this money. Now, here's the thing. It's not ethical, it's not legal, but they save themselves, hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing this. And think about it, very rich people own multiple cars, but listen to these numbers because it'll just blow you away, because you've got to understand it's not, hey, they save $500 by doing this. First of all, think about this. People get themselves set up with an LLC, and you can do that for less than $1,000 in Montana. You can use all these different programs, and there's even a company that advertises, basically skirting the law, to get your LLC hooked up in Montana. But I want you to think about this. In 2023, we don't have all the 2024 numbers yet. In 2023 alone, there were 2.3 million vehicles registered in the state. There are only 976,000 registered drivers in the state. So you've got an average of almost 3 vehicles a person. Doesn't make sense. Nobody has 3 cars, okay? So it's nice being out here sitting in the river for you guys. So, but again, the idea with this was this starts getting covered and states miss their tax money. Now, I've said this to you guys. States don't know how to run businesses. Municipalities don't know how to generate, hey, we're going to get your pizza place to do better. We're going to get your hair salon to get more customers. No, they know how to tax the crap out of people. That's what your city does, that's what your county does, and that's what your state does. But if you deal with a state that pisses money away, like California and Utah for that matter, you've got problems with that. And that's what you're seeing, is these states are so desperate for this money, they want it back. And again, so many of these people, Bloomberg Tax found that there were 10,757 registrations of vehicles made by Aston Martin, Bentley, Bugatti, Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, Pagani, Rolls-Royce in 2024. They know those figures. So the highest registered vehicles. Now, guys, this is done with work trucks. It's done with flatbed trucks. It's done with major delivery vehicles to beat the man, okay? Now, you can sit there and go, oh, Dan, that's just smart business. Well, it was smart business. But now Utah has license plate readers, and they're going to, if they suspect that you've done this, not only are they going to get their tax money, they're going to go back for the back taxes. Oh, can they do that? I don't know, but they're going to audit the crap out of you through their state agency. State of California is going to do the exact same thing, but the state of California says it's going to be punitive. What's that mean? and take the cars. They can seize the cars, in fact. Now, what you're supposed to do if you buy these vehicles is you're supposed to put them on ice for a year. They're supposed to be stored off-site. Like, for example, that's Nebraska, guys, right there. This is Iowa. So, you're supposed to store it in Nebraska, leave it there, don't drive it. You can't drive the car for 12 months. Who does that? You think people do that? Now, there are some really wealthy people that buy really expensive cars that they don't drive. If you ever saw the TV show Billions, there was in like season 4 or 5 when Axe had a bunch of art that he had purchased at an auction, and it was stored off-site, and the auction company was like, hey, we don't want it anymore. You have to take personal delivery. As soon as he takes delivery here in America, he had to pay the tax on it, which was going to be like $10 million that he didn't want to pay. So the episode was about how he could skirt these taxes. And again, it's a problem you and I will never have. But it was funny because they turned their house into a museum so that it would be displaying the art, and it was free, and you could go to look at the museum if you wanted to look at it. He had all his employees walk through it. Now, that's not the most glaring statistic. Washington had 0 Bugattis registered there, but Montana has 131. Think about that. Washington State has 0, Montana. A lot of rich people must live in Montana. No, guys, it's shenanigansville. Montana had 1,966 Lamborghinis there. And in 2023, Washington State only had 240. 920 Rolls Royces were registered in Montana, and there were only 155 in Washington State. Okay? They anticipate there are a minimum of 600,000 vehicles that are operated in other states. Now, you can sit there and say, why is this a big deal? I put in Chat GPT for you guys. I'm buying a $325,000 McLaren. What are my taxes and my registration? Okay? So I was like floored by this, because this is the problem that people don't get. Sales tax on the vehicles. You have to pay when you purchase a vehicle, especially in states like California. So what you're going to have is you're going to have an absolute huge tax bill, where it would be the registration cost alone, first things first, sales tax, $31,687. That's nothing. That's to drive the car away from the dealership. That's just nuts, guys. Who would pay that? I mean, you want to drive a $325,000 car, that's what it's going to cost. Okay? See how nuts that is? So the next thing is the registration fee, the vehicle registration fee. I said, hey, I live in Los Angeles, California. How much is that? $2,445 for your vehicle registration fee. It's a few hundred. And it lasts longer in Montana than it does any other state. So they've cracked down on this. It's done. It's done. But what's going to happen to the rich people, and this is what I think is funny, is that there's all these companies out there trying to tell people, how to beat the system, and then rich people wrote reviews on the site. So I don't know if I can share those with you, but I sure can read them to you, because I just think it's funny. What would you do to beat the man out of money? And people are going to say, Dan, people have been doing things like this since the beginning of time. Really? You think so? The Utah governor signed a law on March 25th launching the most ambitious enforcement campaign in the country, a data sharing arrangement with other states. If your vehicle is driven in other states and here and Montana, they want their taxes. Now, Montana loves it, that's a smaller state, but, they think that they've been cheated out of Utah alone, that small state, $100 million. Oh my God, that's just unbelievable. They pay nothing to support the roads. This is the big thing. The infrastructure, what have they contributed? Nothing to Utah, nothing. Okay, haven't paid taxes, haven't paid registration. You pay your vehicle registration. I just registered a vehicle for $545 this last week. So there's that. The other thing is that there's been nearly 47,000 LLCs formed in Montana to skirt taxes and things like that. Now, Here's the name of one company, and I'm not making this up. Dirt Legal. Dirt Legal can help you do this, and they've got stellar. I mean, the reviews are Dirt Legal made registering my new 2024 Mercedes AMG GLE Coupe seamless, saving me around $6,000 in taxes. An absolute no-brainer. Oh God, again, the problem with this is that they're going to come after these people for the back taxes. What else have you not paid us on? If you'll do this, you'll do other things. Now, here's the funny thing is there are younger YouTubers, and I have an agent. My agent tells me about some of these young kids who are dicks, okay? That's how he put it. And he said they're just so unscrupulous. They swear when they talk to you, Dan. They're unprofessional. They make obscene amounts of money. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and they treat people horribly. But these are the type of people that instead of saying, yeah, I want to buy this car and it's going to cost me 40 grand to get the car delivered here. Nah, let's beat the man out of money. So let me know what you guys think about this. I'll share all the Bloomberg stories and everything, but this is what you're going to have. You're going to have a new era of catching up to people where you cannot rip off the man. It's done. It's done. And the man is broke. So, God, how can we get money? Where are we losing money? If you don't think that these politicians are looking for that, it's like the COVID money. It's like the money that you're seeing from student loan debt. They're coming after these people. They want their money. If we get something from Dan, if we squeeze it out of him, it's better than getting nothing. That's what their thinking is. So, let me know, guys, what you think. That's nice. First time in Iowa, first time in Nebraska. I grew up here. I didn't grow up here. My family grew up here. And I get to go see their childhood home later on. So it's kind of exciting. But you guys get to see Warren Buffett and the man, okay? The myth, the legend. I got invited to this, and I'm glad I got invited because it may be the last one he's done because he's 94 years old. And how many 94-year-olds do you know that are working still? Not many. So please don't forget to hit the like button. Please share your thoughts on this. Read these stories below. I put news stories like this below because you can sit there and say, oh, this is a rich person's problem, Dan. I don't care. No, what it is it's a problem for us. Next time you write that check for $241 for your registration, I want you to be pissed off because these people are not doing that. And they're driving a very expensive car. Now, again, I've told you guys, people that have cars registered in California, like I see like a Ferrari or I see something like that, I always look at the registration to see if it's current, because if it's not current, they're just a deadbeat fish. And with that, they're not paying their bills. They can barely register the car. And again, California is, I think they call it maximum enforcement, where if you're behind in the registration, even 90 days, they can seize the car. They will definitely seize it if it's 6 months or older. And I've been there. I've been so dead broke in my life 15, 20 years ago that, listen, you really going to take it, officer? So hit the like button, subscribe, email me hello@iallegedly.com. But let me know what you think about this. And what you're going to do is you're going to sit there now and you're going to go, God, there are a lot of Montana registrations in my city. Oh, that's a big truck. Yeah, that big truck should be paying about $8 grand to register that vehicle, and they're beating the system. So let me know what you think. I'll see you very soon.